Hello guys, my name is Desmond and I welcome you to my lesson for today where we will be looking at mathematics. So ladies and gentlemen, please do allow me to say it is very much important that I say it is very, very much important because what I'm about to say, it's massively, massive. Bosisi we massively important, ladies and gentlemen, that I say a day without learning something new, it's a day wasted. By so saying, let's leave, please, honorable members, please do make sure that by the end of each and every lesson that I conduct, you learn something new. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, over there. So before I start with the business of the day, can someone confirm if you can clearly hear me, and again, if you can clearly see over there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So this is what I'm going to do. Obviously, I've posted this question paper in the group. And I am begging you guys, please make sure that you watch yesterday's lesson, because I gave an introduction to this type of a function called exponential function. So for the sake of saving some time, because I'm suspecting very soon it might be load shedding on my side, and again, it's actually raining. So I'm hoping that in today's lesson, with reference to what we learned yesterday, we are just going to straight away do an interpretation of that and quickly have a look at questions. And most importantly, please don't allow me to continue without you fully understanding the solution. Okay, so let's see. This is what happens. Remember, at all the times, we sketch functions on a Cartesian plane. What is a Cartesian plane? A Cartesian plane has got what we call the x-axis, which is a horizontal line, the y-axis, which is a vertical line, and the origin. So now we've got a function drawn on a Cartesian plane. What type of a function is that? Is it a straight line? Is it a parabola? Is it a hyperbola? Is it an exponential? So we do know very well that straight line is just a straight line. Parabola, it's a smiling or a sad shape. And then a hyperbola, we also know the shape of which you find it either in the first and third quadrant or in the second and fourth quadrant. But in this case, it's very much clear that we are looking at an exponential function. What confirms that? It's because of the shape of that graph, and again, because of the format of that equation there. And most importantly, we do know very well that an exponential has got only one equation of asymptote. Okay, so now if you remember, based on yesterday's lesson, we said this type of a function is an increasing function. How do you know that it's increasing? And what is it that increase? Is the y value that increase, which makes it to be an increasing function. So can you see the y value slowly increasing, slowly increasing. So can you see? That is why we call this an increasing function. And based on our notes yesterday, you will know whether the b value is between 0 and 1 or the b value is greater than 1. So that means if a question comes and they say calculate the b value, based on yesterday's notes, you will know whether you need to expect a value which is between 0 and 1 or if it's greater than 1. So remember, guys, I said when you draw an exponential type of a function, you start from the left, going to the right. So how does a decreasing function look like? Remember, start from the left, slowly by slowly by slowly by slowly. Can you see what happens? The y value is decreasing. So that is why we call this type of a function a decreasing function. So that was just a quick background there. So most importantly, you can see here we are having an increasing function and we are given 2 points. There is point 1 and there is point 2, and this point is called point A with those coordinates, and this is point B with those coordinates. Most importantly, this is our equation of asymptote. And if you guys remember very well, we did say this asymptote, it's actually a certain value of something on that equation. And we said this tells us by how much the graph has shifted. If you can see it's passing through positive 2, it means it has shifted from being 0 to 1, 2. So this is what tells us more about the vertical shift, which means it has shifted by 2 units upwards. So now, what you also need to remember is that in this case, you are dealing with only one type of a function, of which it is called f of x. So I think now we can start answering the questions. I'm not sure if there's anyone who would like to ask a question based on what I've explained up to this point before we look at the questions. Most importantly, today's lesson might be very, very quick based on those factors that we did give an introduction yesterday, and again, everything that we will be using to answer these questions would be based on that lesson that we did yesterday. So anyone who's got a question before we start answering the questions? Or maybe you need clarity on something there. Anyone? Otherwise, if all is good, you can just indicate, you say, all is clear, we can continue. I'm just not sure if you guys got the message. Did you guys get the message?
We got the message.
Okay. Now, let's see. We are given a statement there which says the sketch below is the graph of f of x, which is equals to 2 times b to the exponent x plus 1 plus q. Remember, guys, it's in most cases where in mathematics you'll be given a statement and a representation of that statement, meaning whatever that I'm reading there, it is diagrammatically represented there. So the second part says the graph of f passes through the points A and B. There is A and there is B, having those coordinates. The line y is equals to 2 is an asymptote of f. So the line y is equals to 2, it's an asymptote of f, meaning that point there, it's actually 2. Okay, first question. Show that the equation of f is, this is what they want you to show. Show that the equation of f is f of x, which is equals to 2, into 3 to the exponent x plus 1 plus 2. I'm telling you guys, if you can show that, they are going to give you 3 marks. So now I'm not sure if there's anyone who'd like to give it a try based on what you guys have learned in the past, and most importantly on yesterday's lesson. You might not get it correctly, but if you do, it's an indication that you are progressing. But even if you don't get everything, but at least you can say whatever that you know about that, and each of your contribution will lead us to the correct answer. Anyone who'd like to give it a try?
So the Q will equal to 2 since it's the asymptote.
Continue.
Okay. So what I did is I said y is equal to 2 b x plus 1 exponent x plus 1 plus 2. Then I use the coordinates of A to substitute.
Yes, yes.
So I substitute those.
Chubeka Ntombo, chubeka, ilwa Ntombo. You've got your mic muted, honorable member. Remember to unmute and continue. I think you are onto something there.
Okay. So God substitute the 1 into the x. That exponent x.
Okay, you tell me what to write, honorable member.
Okay, 20 is equal to 2.
Okay, when I continue, so I'll just be listening and writing everything. So, continue.
Okay. B 1 exponent 1 plus 1 plus 2. 18 is equal to 2b exponent 2. And yes, divide by 2 both sides.
Then what are we having when we divide by 2?
9. So what to b squared. Then you square root both sides. And then b is equal to 3.
Yes, yes. 3 is equals to b, or otherwise b is equals to 3. And that's how you correctly show that f of x is equals to 2 into 3 x plus 1. Honorable member, did you attend yesterday's lesson? I think, Leslie, you are always attending my lessons. I think you did. Did you attend the Leslie's?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. That's very much impressive. I'm not sure. Is undercover there? Undercover, do you agree? Let's see. Akanya is there as well. Guys, does it make sense what honorable member has done there? Or is there someone who's got a question?
No question was asked.
100%. It's a straightforward question. I'm pretty much sure that all of you guys would have got it correctly. And guess what, guys? This is a question that I took from one of your final examination. So imagine at this stage in February, you guys are already in a position to be able to answer November exam questions. So that means come May or June, you will be nailing these things. I'm telling you guys, this is the strategy that I used in order to get my distinctions in mathematics, and that includes physical sciences and other subjects. It's because of focusing on exam questions. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, over there. So quickly, let's try have a look at 7.2. I think I'm going to actually give you guys an opportunity to participate in answering these questions. I think this will give me an idea whether you guys are ready for your test this coming Saturday. So remember, guys, we are almost done with the functions. All the lessons were recorded and posted on our homepage. So just in case, if you are not on homepage, send me an inbox, and then I will make sure that you are added there to access all the past recorded lessons for 2022 and 2023. We are going to consolidate recorded lessons for other subjects into one folder so that they can be easily accessible. So just make sure that you catch up in case if you just discovered my lessons today. So let's see. 7.2, it says calculate the y coordinate of the point B. Listen very carefully. Calculate the y coordinate, not coordinate, but y coordinate of point B. So that means it's only one value that they are looking for. So anyone who would like to give it a try, Bantu Bagit. And it's just given 1 mark. No, this one is 3. And then this one is 1. Anyone who would like to give it a try? Remember, guys, this is your November exam paper. So you are actually in exam in November. And they're asking you to calculate the y coordinate of the point B. In case if you've got no idea, say so that I'm aware that you got the comment, but you've got no idea. Then I will explain.
Sir,
Yes.
I'm not sure, but I think what you'll do is they gave you the x coordinate of b, so you substitute it into the formula. So it'll be like y is equals to 2 open brackets 3 close brackets -1 plus 1 plus 2 will give you the y coordinate.
100%. 100%. Remember, Bantu Bagiti, you ask yourself this question. This point B is on which graph? You can see point B is on the graph of F, meaning whatever that you'll be calculating for point B is based on that, but not necessarily that one, but what you just calculated previously or what they wanted you to show. So the moment you start seeing yourself using that value, being the x value of point B. The moment you start using that x value on this formula, it's going to give you the corresponding y value. So that means if on that same equation you see yourself using the x value, it means it's going to give you the corresponding y value. Similarly, if you were given let's say a point that has maybe a known y value, as an example, let's say 7, and then they say x. So that means if you use this value on that equation to calculate the x, it will be the corresponding x value at a point where y is 7. But in this case, we are looking for the y coordinate of point B. So that is why honorable member is saying, actually, from this same equation at point B, which is -1 and y, then we calculate the, so what is the y value? I think this is negative. What is the y value, or what is the y coordinate? Anyone who has calculated the y coordinate?
4.
What is it? 4. Did someone say 4?
4.
Hey, is it really 4? Guys, is it 4? 2 into 3 to the exponent -2 plus 2. No, it's 0 there. Oh, yes, it is 4. So that means y coordinate is equals to 4, meaning point B has got the coordinates of -1 and 4. Does it make sense to everyone before I move on to the next question?
It doesn't make sense, sir. Can you please repeat?
Okay, let me remove all of that. And remember, this question is only allocated 1 mark. So that means it should be an easy question. Maybe let's do it this way, the tumis. Let's speak. Name. Let's speak. That point B is on which function? Unmute your mic, honorable member. Leave it unmuted for now. Show me the chumis. Can you hear me?
No, sir, I can't hear you properly.
But how about now? Can you hear me? Don't mute your mic. Leave it unmuted for now. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I wanted us to do it in a form of a dialogue so that the others could also understand. So I was saying that point B is on which function?
Which function?
Okay, it's fine. I will do a monologue. Let me explain the chumis. Then you will ask again in case if it still did not make any sense. So this is what I was asking. This point B is on which function, or it's on which graph? It's on that graph. So what is the formula for that graph? It is the one for y is equals to 2 into 3 to the exponent x plus 1 plus 2. Yes. So that point B is actually on that function or on that graph. So you say this is at where B is actually -1 and y. So can you see the question wants you to give that y value, whereby x is -1. So what honorable member was saying is, where you see x, you substitute that. So that means whatever that you get is the corresponding y value. So what it means is that where x is actually -1, what will be the y value? So that is why honorable member said that plus 2. And if you punch all of this, you end up having 2 into 3. That one is 0 plus 2. And then you end up having 2. Anything to the power of 0 is 1 plus 2. Then 2 times 1 is 2 plus 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So that means the corresponding y coordinate where x is -1, it's actually 4. I'm not sure if it now makes sense, honorable member. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So just always remember that as soon as you are given a point similar to that, ask yourself, where is that point? On which graph is that point? If it's on this graph, then it means you must use an equation of that graph to find the other value. So when it comes to functions, it's either you know the x value and they want you to calculate the corresponding y value, or they give you the y value and they want you to calculate the corresponding x value. So just always be careful of that, where they want you to calculate a certain point. So now let's move on to a 7.3. So under point 7.3, it says determine the average gradient of the curve between point A and point B. Anyone who'd like to give it a try? I'm telling you, if you get it correctly, I'm going to give you 2 marks. So this is a final exam question paper, Bantu Bakiti. And you guys, some of you are already in a good position to start attempting this type of question. So you can see, if you are well prepared, if you attend almost all of my lessons, you will never go wrong. I'm telling you guys. I think I would like to make use of this opportunity to tell you that one of my last year's learners, they contacted us back to say, I'm not sure if you guys still remember Nontokozo Koza. She got I think she got a bursary from Engine. She'll be starting at vets very, very soon, studying gynecologist. So she just indicated that on our next event, where we invite a guest speaker to discuss all the problems that you guys as high school learners are facing, she will also participate. So I'm very much happy, and I was very, very much happy when she indicated that these lessons, they did help her a lot. So it's not because she was just attending Bantu Bakit. You attend, and at the same time you try to work out these things by yourself. You fail, and then you address the challenges that you had, and we help you with those. So I was very, very much happy also on the fact that she did agree to come back and give you guys the motivation to work very, very much hard. So just be aware that it is possible if you pay full attention. I see honorable member has got a video there. I think it's Apelele. Apelele, can you click on that video icon so that we do not see you, honorable member? If you do it
Yes,
this
yes,
way, if you do it this way, you are interrupting the lesson. I think he went out. So remember, guys, as soon as you join the lesson, don't click on the video icon, because the time when you catch up, you won't be seeing all that I'm writing, but you'll be seeing honorable members. Okay, so let's see. 7.3 determine the average gradient of the curve between points A and B. So now, how are we going to work out this one? Anyone would like to give it a try?
Okay, I'm not sure, but wouldn't you use your gradient formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 for the points of A and B?
100%. 100%. I'm pretty much sure that most of you guys were suspecting that this is the formula that we're going to use. But maybe you got confused by the word average, because they said average gradient, and you're wondering, is it that gradient, Mar? Is it the gradient, that one that we know? Bantu bakiti, it is that gradient formula. If you remember, we did a question where we had that set shape of a parabola. And I think, for example, we had a point there and a point there. And they said, calculate an average gradient. So that means it's more like a straight line averagely crossing through those 2 points. In this case, it's more like between this point and that point, averagely, we are looking at a straight line gradient passing through those 2 points. It's only when you are dealing with a straight line where they will never use that word average, because it is not average, but it is an actual gradient from one point to another. But the moment you start having a curving shape, then between 2 points, you need to say an average gradient. To say averagely, when you pass through these 2 points, averagely, this is the slope, or averagely, this is the gradient. So that's why examiner had to make sure that they use that word average. But always remember that if it's if it's between 2 points, you need to use that formula that you know. So remember, we now know what that value is, and you guys said it is 4. So now we can say y2 maybe being 4 minus y1 being 20 there, over -1 inside the brackets minus 1 there. What are we getting? I think we are getting -16 divided by -2, which is that cancels that, and I think that is 8. Is it correct, guys? Is this what you guys are also getting? Because if you get that, you will get 1 mark for correct substitution and 1 mark for correct
what we
final
are getting.
answer. 100%. So now, but can you guys see how easy this question was? I'm telling you, it's not easy for everyone, especially those who missed my previous lessons. But remember, guys, in my lessons, you should never feel guilty of missing a lesson. But most importantly, feel guilty the moment that you know that you did not attend a lesson and you did not catch up, because you will fall behind. You will be tatazeling during exams. So during exams, we won't be studying this way, Bantu Pakit. We'll just be sitting in parliament, sitting very nicely, having a very nice cup of coffee. Some of you guys, I know you like cappuccino. We'll just be having those and discussing the issue or the issues affecting our nation. We won't be talking mathematics. This is the right time to be talking mathematics. If you've got any questions, you ask those questions during this type of lessons. During exams, we talk about ESCOM. We talk about how to fix ESCOM. We talk about how to create employment. I don't want to hear a question saying, how do we solve for X? I don't want a question which will be saying, what is an equation of an asymptote? If you ask me that question, I'm going to tell you the price of electricity units. Okay, so let's see. 7.4, it says a new function h. Ungenaphi h manje? Okay, a new function h is obtained when f. Why is f? Oh, okay. So that means from f a new function is obtained and they call it h. Okay, let's see. A new function h is obtained when f is reflected about its asymptote. Determine the equation of h. Yes. Remember, the word reflected. Maybe let me give you guys a background. If you are having the y and the x, when they say something is reflected about, let's say the y-axis, it's more like if you are having, let's say this. No, let me do it this way so that it makes sense. If you are having this type of a shape and you reflect it about the y-axis, it's more like I always used to do this and feel like I'm just paging. You move to the next page, you do this. Can you see this thing? It comes to this quadrant, and in this quadrant is going to look like that. That's what reflection means. So let's say you reflect both of this about the x-axis. So this is what you do. It's more like you're paging. It's like that, and then you just do that, and then this is how they are going to look like in this quadrants. So that's what is meant by something rotating about the whatever. So in this case, they are saying it's reflected about its asymptote. So you can try to do the same and think of how it will look like. But remember, when they say it is reflected about its asymptote, that's where you are paging. So let's say if this is a book, for example, if this is a book, for example, if this is the y-axis, when you page, if they said it's reflected about the y-axis, that's where you page. And then if, for example, in that case, you've got the x-axis and you have that asymptote, if they're saying about the asymptote, that means that's where you page. It rotates about that. I'm not sure. Anyone who'd like to give it a try, Bantupakit, let's see if you can maybe try work out something there. Anyone who'd like to give it a try?
Sorry, sir, can you please re-explain it?
Okay. Let me say, for example, if you are having I just didn't want to go deep because I didn't want to actually give you guys an answer. I didn't want to actually give you guys an answer. Okay. I will see how I can re-explain without giving you guys an answer. Let's say you have a straight line, not a straight line, but how can I do? Maybe let's say you have this thing and it's making a U-turn at that point being 1. And they say this thing is reflected about the x-axis. So what I'm saying is that means you rotate it about the x-axis. So that's where the rotation occurs, along that x-axis, meaning this point, it is now going to become to this side of the negative, and that point, it is going to be -1. Let me also explain again, but using a different scenario to say when something is being reflected, it's more like you are paging a if you are paging about the y-axis, think of a book which is like that, because you are paging about the the y-axis. That's why you do this. You have some news there. So can you see? Let's say you are having that there. So they said reflected about the y-axis. That means you are paging about the y-axis. So this thing is going to page to this page in the same position there, but on this side. So that means nothing changes to this, but what changes is just the coordinates. This comes to that side. Similarly, if they say you are paging about the x-axis, then you think of a book which is like that, a book which is like that, and you are just paging about the x-axis. So that means I think this is how it is then going to look like. I hope you'd agree with me that if you try to page those two to this side, they're going to look like those. So this one, ask yourself, is it being reflected about the x-axis, the y-axis, or an asymptote? Then try to guess how it will look like or how it will be. Just try to think of it, guys. You can even try to write it somewhere down there to see how it will look like. Are you still thinking there, Bantu Bakiti, or are you busy trying to work it out? Hey, guys, are you still there? I think I'll need to look for a question that has this type of a question so that you guys will think deep in exam or in that test. Guys, are you sure you are still there?
We are here.
Still
Can I
thinking?
ask you something?
Yes, you can ask.
I'm not sure. I'm thinking. I think I know, but I'm not really sure. If we are speaking of a reflection, so we are speaking of a mirror image, isn't it? A
Yes,
reflection,
yes, yes,
a
yes,
reflection
yes.
of a reflection of F. I get off of H. So it means it's going to be the only thing that I just want to understand is the asymptote. With the reflection, I know it's going to come to the quadrant 4 and 3. The reflection of it. H is going to be in that quadrant. So it's a reflection. So it means it's going to shift downwards. It's a reflection. It's going to shift downwards. But what I wanted to understand is that it says below the, let me read it again as I'm speaking to you.
Okay.
A new function H is obtained when F is reflected about its asymptotes. So I think that's where, because I want to, because it means even the asymptote is going to shift, isn't it?
Okay.
Or
I understand your confusion. Let me clear it and I'll give you another chance to think about it. So it does not shift. Remember, there's a word shift and there's a word reflection. So when you shift, that's when it moves either up or down. But this one, it does not shift, it does not move up or down, it just reflect. So let me give you a hint. It does that about that asymptote. So that means it's going to look almost like this. So that means you're having that and it does that. So now it means when it does about that, it is therefore going to look like something of that nature. So can you see, it does not shift, it does not move. If you say it shifts downwards, it's as if it now does that. And it does not do that, but it does that. I'm sure now I've cleared something, Moleboge. So you can try to think about it.
by shift, I don't mean that the graph has really shifted. I mean when it's reflected. I mean it's now going to reflect in the third and in the fourth quadrant.
And
I'm saying
fourth.
it's reflection, it's mirror image.
Okay, let's say it changed position instead of shift. Let's say it changed position, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, so we can say changes position, but then in that case, it means you were not really confused. It was just a use of words, but that means you can still try to think about it based on that. You are onto something. Maybe let's try to see. This is a question coming from me. Do you guys know what that point is or the value at that point? If not, I can tell you. This point here, that's where x is equals to 0. Then we can try to find the y value. And I can tell you now, the y value, I think it's going to be 4. This point there, if you remember, you just need to punch 0 there. So that means you're going to say 2 into no, it might not be that.
I can't
So
see the board. Is it only me?
maybe let me do this. How about now? Remember, guys, in case if I'm breaking, in case if you can't see, let me know immediately so that I'll be able to do something. Because there will be a point where you need to catch up and you will need everything to be clear. So what I was saying is, let's try to find out what that point is there. So I was saying at this point, at that point, that's where you have 2
Sorry, sir.
to the yes.
I can't see the board. I don't know if it's only me.
I think also.
On off, I can't see.
Okay, let me leave and then I'll be back. Okay, how about now? Is it better now? Guys, how about now? Is it better now?
On my side, it has not yet appeared, so I'm still checking.
She's still checking. Okay.
Same here, sir. No video.
No
It is
video.
now
Okay.
visible this side, sir.
It's visible on someone's side, but I just noticed I'm on 5%. In the meantime, think about it. I need to quickly get external power, and then I'll try to reconnect. Guys, is it are you getting it right, or is it still giving you hard time? Guys. Are you still thinking about it? Hey, why is it like everyone ran away? Let's see. No, you guys are still there. Guys, can you see the screen? Can you see the whiteboard? Guys, can you see the whiteboard?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I can see, sir.
Okay. This one, I'm giving it to you guys. I need you guys to try and think about it and check if you can come up with a possible solution to that. Okay. No idea, or are you still thinking about it? Molebogeng, I'm going to be one of those old teachers. You know, those old teachers would say, I'm giving it to you as a homework. I'm giving it to you as a homework, and tomorrow, if you don't give me an answer, you remember this thing, Mos, where you do this, and then I come and
Yes.
yes. So I'm giving it to
But
you guys as a homework. Yes, you
but
can give it
before
a
you
try.
do that, yes,
Mm-hmm.
before you do that, because it's a reflection. So we have
Mm-hmm.
our x value is -1, and our y value is 4. Because it is a reflection, it means it's going to be from that 4 to -4, isn't it? A reflection, and then the -1 will still remain -1. We are now speaking of a reflection of it, and then yes. So
Okay. Let me now. So I was about to say, let me say something. You see, if for example our asymptote was inside that, and it reflects about the asymptote, of which it's almost as if it's reflection about the x-axis, then it was going to look like this, where now this is where you are having your -2. Can you see? But now,
yes,
in that case, is different because it is not reflecting about the x-axis, but it is reflecting about that. It
okay,
is reflecting
now I get
about
you.
yeah. So can you see with your inputs, Moleboge, it helps also on my side to make you guys understand. Then you can have an opportunity to think about it deeply. So let's say this is what we are having. This is what we are having. And then what I'm saying is it is actually reflecting about that. This is what someone would do. No, you can't do it. No, you can't do it. So, okay, let's see. That means I'll just give you a hint. It is going to look maybe something of that nature, even though that point it might not touch there, but it will look something similar to that. It will look something similar to that. So
No, but
I'm just trying to
I
indicate that it reflects about that.
no, I understand.
Yes,
I
yeah.
now understand. Okay, I now understand.
So can you see, it's a matter of trying to deeply think about it, and it's just given only 2 marks, guys. It's just given only 2 marks. Hmm. Silence in order. Okay. I think I will need to try and bring this one in a test and see how you guys were going to respond to this one. So, homework, I'm expecting an answer. If you don't give me an answer, you know what is going to happen. So, 7.5, Moleboge. Also, I think I gave it to you guys as a homework, and we said I will look for a question that answers that. So, here's the question. I'm giving it to you, Moleboge, because you did raise this question and you wanted a confirmation. Now, they are saying write down the range of age. So, okay, now I see. So, because you are still thinking about 7.4, you will also answer this question, but for now I'm going to say write down the range of f. What will be the range of f? So be careful Examiner in that question is saying the range of h. So that means don't give the range of f, but give the range of h, which is the new equation that you are going to find as a result of that reflection. But for me, I'm saying give us the range of f. What will be the range of f?
The range of f we are going to say y is greater or equals to 4.
Y is greater or equals to 4. Okay. A very positive attempt. The only issue now is that the moment you start saying or is equals to, it's more like you're saying this function at some point it touches that asymptote. And you agree, Mus, or it doesn't touch Molebore. It doesn't touch, it never cross.
Yes, it doesn't touch.
Did you say 4 here? Or did I write 4?
Because you know what? Okay, I am to I'm thinking.
Fire!
You know, my mind now is running.
But wait,
No, I'm not going to.
Is it
No, I
you who
was not
said
going
4?
to. No, I was not going to to use 4 because the y, I was going to take the y, the y cut of it, so it's not 4. The 4 is below it, isn't it?
Oh, you mean you were going to take that value there?
Yes. So I'm saying now 4 is below.
Yes, 4 is below. So that value there at that point, what is it? I think we can quickly try to calculate it. I think it's going to be 2 to the exponent 1 there. So I think it's 2 times 3, which is what? 2 times 3 is 6 plus 2 is
8.
8. So that means that point there, it is 8. So that means you're saying you're going to say y greater or is equals to 8, isn't it?
Yes, I was going to say that. I am now
Oh,
remembering that the 4 is below, so the 8 is above.
okay. Now, let me also try to re-explain something. So it is this type of engagements which will help you to never forget in case if you made a mistake. And it also helps other honorable members to understand things better. You don't learn when everything is done correctly. We need this type of engagements in order to understand things better. So if you remember, honorable members, when you write the range, it's either you say y is greater than or you say y is less than. Only those. Never use that equal to under this one. And the reason to that is because the moment you say equals to, it's more like at some point this will actually touch or be equal to that equation of asymptote. There's honorable member who's got their mics unmuted. Luyanda, remember to mute your mic, honorable member, just so that we don't get disturbed by the background noise. So let's see. Maybe let me remove all of that and explain. So, Moleboge, this is what I'm trying to achieve, to make you guys understand what the range means. So, if you are having something looking similar to that, and let's say this does that, where this it cuts there at point 1. Do you guys agree that this function, it will never touch or cross this dotted line? Do you guys agree?
Yes, we agree.
So when we talk about the range, we are actually asking this function is actually above which point? Or it's
Okay.
above which line? So you can see that this function of f is playing above where y is actually above 1. Because it will continue in that direction up to infinity. It will also continue in that direction up to infinity. But it will never touch this line of y, and it will never cross that line, meaning it's actually ranging above 1. That is why we say the range, we say y is above 1 or y is greater than 1. I'm not sure if you are having some light, Molebo.
No, I'm okay. I'm catching. I'm okay. It's coming back. I'm okay.
Yeah. So, let's maybe try to have a look at a different scenario. Let's have a look at a different scenario. So, if you are having something similar to that, and let's say you are having that there where that is 2, and then for some reason you are having something similar to that, and they are saying what is the range of the graph of G. I'm not sure if you'd like to give it a try, honorable members. Just give it a try and tell what would be the range for G.
So that the line that you are, it's 2 there. The asymptote, it's 2.
Yes, it's 2. So, is it ranging above or below?
It's below. It's below 2 because it's not touching 2, isn't it? The line does
That
not
is
touch,
why,
but
yes. So, you are right. It will never touch or cross that. That is why you're going to say y is below 2. So that is the range for G there. So it's more like we are actually saying when it comes to the range of that, in short, I would claim it this way and say y asymptote. So it's just a matter of you checking whether you use the greater than or the less than. But this one is the asymptote value. I'm not sure if it summarizes it when I do it this way to say if it's below the asymptote, you know you use less than. But if it's above the asymptote, you know you use the greater than. Does it summarize it in that way?
no, I understand. It's understandable. I get it now.
Yes. So now I'm not sure if there's anyone who's got a question before I close the lesson for today. But remember your homework. Anyone who's got a question there, remember, I think this is our last lesson on functions. This coming Saturday, you'll be writing a test on functions. And then I'll try and make sure that over the weekend we complete the corrections. Even though it might be a bit tricky because it's not only the grade 11s who are writing, but I'll see how to work it out. But once we finish off with the test, we are starting with a new chapter, of which I would encourage all of you not to miss the introduction to the new chapter, because it's always best to make sure that you form part of the introduction so that as we solve for exam questions, you will also fully understand. But wait, guys, is it only me, or do you guys realize that we are actually almost halfway with your paper 1? Because we have done solve for x, we have done number pattern, we are now concluding the functions, and then we'll be moving on to the next chapter. For those of you guys who are attending those extra weekend classes, we already started with trigonometry. When was it? Last week, Saturday, and that lesson is also posted in our homepage. So that means next week, when we start with a new chapter, for those of you guys who are also attending extra weekend classes, you've got an advantage because you are now doing analytical geometry, trigonometry, and you'll still be doing a new chapter. So those of you guys who are writing in May, that one of extra weekend is actually meant for you to cover everything before May. So for those of you who will be writing end of year, we will of course push such that when you write your June examinations, you should be ready to write everything. But now, anyone who's got a question before I wrap up our lesson for today?
So the range will always be the asymptote value.
Yes. So you just need to ask yourself whether to use above or below. And then above is greater than, below is lower than. So you look at that and you say, is this thing below or above the asymptote? You can see it's below. Then you're going to say y less than asymptote value. And then if it's above, you're going to say y above that. And then maybe let me also say this, Moleboge, to say it's only when it comes to that and also that, where you say for this one of a said shape, you say y is less or it's equals to, then you give the y value of the turning point. You can also note it down as your notes. And then here you are going to say y is greater or equals to the y value of the turning point. And this value is called minimum. Sometimes they can say, what is the minimum of f? Sometimes they can say, this one is called the maximum. And then they can say, what is the maximum of a G? So can you see, this is where you use less or greater. So just to give you an example again, if you have something similar to that, so can you see the range of this function? You still ask yourself, let's say we've got an imaginary line there. I don't want to say an asymptote, but an imaginary line there. You ask yourself, is this thing ranging below or above? You can see it's ranging above that line. So that is why you're going to say y is greater or it's equals to that turning point. Maybe it's -4. That will be the range of the maximum value of that one. But for this one, if that turning point there, the y value is 6, that is why for this one you're going to say it's ranging actually below that imaginary point there. It's ranging there. So you're going to say y is below. It's as if you're saying, if this is f, it's as if you're saying actually f is below 6. If this one, it was g, it's more like you're saying actually g is above or equals to -4. So why are you saying it's equals to? It's because you are including that point. That's where it makes a U-turn right there. Does it make sense now, Bantu Baki? Does it make sense to everyone? Silence in court. Guys, can you hear me before I close the lesson?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay. So guys, that concludes our lesson for today. My name is Desmond, and then I think the code for today to mark the register Let's maybe use 7.1. Yes, we're doing question 7. Just type in the group 7.1. This will indicate you attended today's lesson. And that's it, Bantu Bakiti. I will see you when I think we'll be meeting again during the time of the test, which is on Saturday. So, guys, have a very good night, and I'm out.